Are we live? We're live! Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday! Yemi is going to be sharing 3 tips today on how to just nourish your resilience, build your resilience. Because on Monday we like to be Monday motivated, and today I have got somebody exceptional joining me. I can't tell you how excited I am. I got to know her through Elizabeth Walker, who's also a phenomenal woman, and her name is Yemi Penn. She is an entrepreneur, she is a coach, she is an international speaker, she has spoken on the stages of TED Talks, and one of the things I love is she says she is the bringer of success. I love that so much. Success is something that we all frame completely differently, but to aim for a life that is well lived is something that I really, really love to nourish as an idea for life. And so I welcome you with open arms. Yemi Penn, thank you for being with me here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. Thank you, man. The amount of energy you have, I absolutely love it. Love, and I love everything you're representing. So an absolute honor to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
It's such an honor to have you here. You know, Elizabeth and I spoke about you, I think it was about 2 or 3 months ago. And immediately I was like, I need to align myself with this woman. She is powerful. She is brilliant. You are speaking about things that really need to be spoken about. And you are living authentically in yourself, being the change you wish to see in the world, which is something I am so in alignment with, and hope to gather as many people to this group of change makers that we are creating. Because the only way to change the world is to be the change you wish to see in the world, to invest in yourself. But I'd love to know a little bit about you and share a little bit. And I can see people are tuning in on Instagram. Hello, guys. And on Facebook as well. Please remember to comment and say hi and let me know where in the world you're tuning in from, because now, I don't know why, but Instagram and Facebook changed their algorithm, so you can't see who is tuned in unless you actually comment. So please make sure you guys comment so that I see you. I'm so excited to be introducing Yemi Penn to you, and I really would like to know, just if you can share a little bit about your story. What got you to where you are today?
Wow. I mean, so the way I describe myself, I'm an engineer by profession, an entrepreneur by passion, and a transformation healer and coach by mission. These just sound like fancy words, but all those titles, I believe, came from failure. And I'm going to share very briefly later about what I'm going to be talking about. A lot of it came from failure. You know, if people put my name into Google, there's this one story that comes up, which is from homelessness to CEO or something. And I don't share the story to impress people, but to impress upon people that for me, it was a question of, okay, I'm currently homeless. I'm pregnant. This is not how my life was meant to be. I don't want to be the statistic I read in the newspapers. I want to change genuinely my life. And that was when I started to go into personal development. You know, I was really glad and grateful that I got this great degree, but I still seem to be failing. And I'll talk about that a bit more. But for me, it was a case of, well, who am I waiting to save me? Who really am I waiting to save me? Jesus done come and left a long time ago. Don't know where Buddha is, so I'm just trying to be Yemi Penn. And that was my first kind of real awakening, that time that I was homeless, which was, you need to change it. What do you want? And literally every year, I relook at what I want and the changes I want to make in my life. And that's brought me to a place where I can run a couple of businesses and every now and again, make sure I come back to center and figuring out what my purpose is. So yeah, that was a mouthful, but take from that what you will.
No, I think that is so important, because the reality is that so many people are waiting to be saved. So many people are in difficult situations and they are desperately waiting to be saved. And they don't realize that the only person who can actually save them is themselves. Because guys and girls, even if you are in a situation where somebody comes and helps you, you have to change on the inside. You have to change mind, body, heart, and spirit. So even if you get a little bit supported outside, until your inside catches up with that, you're still going to feel like you are that failure. And so this is so important. I love what you're saying there, Yemi. It's so important. And you have been through so much in your past as well. I know that it's a hell of a story to tell, but you've been through so much. And one of the things that I love is that you still hold compassion for people who have been through their own trauma, whatever level of trauma that is, because there is no distinction. The biggest trauma that we experience is the one that we experience ourselves. And so there's no distinguishing between this is so huge and yours is so small, so yours is irrelevant, because our own trauma is our biggest trauma. But I love that you said, you're not saying to impress people, but you're saying it to impress upon them that it is possible.
Yeah.
Have you read the book, A Course in Miracles, by any chance?
No. Who wrote it? I thought it was Marianne Williamson. Maybe she wrote one off the back of that. But I listened to some of it. Yes.
Yes, she did. So A Return to Love is based on A Course in Miracles. And Nelson Mandela made the quote by Marianne Williamson famous. Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Anyway, I can say that whole thing because I love it so much. But in that, they speak about the fact that a miracle is merely a change in perception, a change in understanding. And that's why I do this show, is because I'm hoping that you sharing your story of coming from that place to where you are now will inspire others to realize that no matter where they are, they can get to where they are wanting to go.
100%.
So I love that you said that. And I would love to speak a little bit more about your journey, just a recap of your journey, because I have to tell you guys that Yemi is going to be one of our speakers at the Empowered Conference. And I'm so excited because all of you can register absolutely free. The link is in my bio, so you can go there and register. And on Facebook, don't worry, I'll put the link in the description so that you guys can go and register. But Yemi is going to be sharing 3 tips today on how to just nourish your resilience, build your resilience. I know everybody's going through a tough time, but just to frame that a little bit about how you learned these things, can you share a little bit about that for us?
Absolutely. It's funny. I'm writing my second book and I've got a chapter that's called Resilience, Otherwise F You and Your Feelings. And that is really my idea of what I think sometimes we perceive resilience to be. And so I want to share these 3 things to debunk it. And I'm hoping that whoever's listening, whether it's on the replay, you lean in. So the first tip for resilience is to go back and look at your own personal resiliency blueprint. Now, I'm going to say this again. It's your resiliency blueprint. If you are here and you are watching this right now, then you have survived a lot of a lot of it. And what I tend to forget is to go back and say, you know, that thing that I thought was going to break me? Well, I actually got through it. Your resiliency blueprint is what did you do to go through it? So establish and have a look back at your resiliency blueprint. That will give you enough juice, enough fire to go through whatever uncomfortable stage of your life you're going through now. I promise you that it will. Every single thing I've done that I thought would break me, and trust me, I was nearly broken 4 weeks ago. I went back to my blueprint and it gave me, and I remember there were things like whether it was meditation, running, or whether it was the fact that when people tell me I can't do something, I was going to do it. But I went back to my blueprint. So that's number 1. The second one, now I know we hear lots of coaches speaking about it, is why, but from an empowered place. You can either ask, why me? Or you can say, why am I? So the question is, why from an empowered, all good. Why from an empowered place? Why am I doing this? You need to ask yourself the question and get really clear. I'll give you an example. I do a lot of work on trauma and raising the vibration. So I go out to the world and I share my story. And some people don't like it because I guess for them, it means they've got to look internally. So even when it gets difficult for me, I say why. And for me, the why is I want my life to count. I want to contribute the way the Nelson Mandelas of the world have, the way the Rosa Parks, the way the Martin Luther King Jr. Figure out your why from empowering place. And then last but not least, another tip for resilience is I urge you, and you said something earlier, Susana, which was about changing inside and outside. And the first thing that came to me was perspective. Change your perspective of failure. You know, I got this from one of my mentors, Tony Robbins. Failure is purely feedback. It is purely feedback. The minute you can shift your perspective on whether you failed at something, this will build your resilience, because you say, okay, I believe I failed, but it's just feedback. But you've got to take that feedback and make a note of it. What would you do differently? Are you hanging around certain people or situation that just has you constantly be in this tornado of feeling bad? Don't take it as failure. Don't beat yourself up. Feedback and change it and go back to where you started. And those would be my 3 tips: resiliency blueprint, an empowering question of why, and change your view of failure to feedback.
I love that. And while you were speaking, there were so many things. But so in the first one, when you were speaking about resilience, you also mentioned that 4 weeks ago, you had to recall, you know, the sequence of 3 things that would help you. And for everybody out there, you know, I know that so many people do courses or read a book and they expect their life to change completely and never to go through another challenge again. And I hate to tell you that that just is never going to happen. But the way you move through a challenge is going to shift and change. And that's the important part. And so I love that you owned that you went 4 weeks ago, I had to call on myself and I had to look at what I needed to do to move myself through this. And I understand that as well, because I speak about not the same as you, but similar things, because I suppose all of us that are working to raise the vibration and help people be more conscious, really whole human beings will be working with very similar things. And it's so important, guys, that challenges are going to come. Surrender to that. Be okay with that. Just meet them in a different way. So I love that. And looking at your resiliency blueprint, beautiful, beautiful. Why is always so important, because if you can see the light, then the light will grow. Focus on that light, the light will grow. Love the why. And perspective, change your perspective on failure. And I've got something that I always say, failure to me is almost like rejection. You know, we feel rejected by a situation or by a person, and I always say, look at rejection as redirection. It's just come here to redirect you to a better place, to something that's actually more in alignment with your true soul's path. So I love that. Change your perception of failure. So important. Guys, did you love them? Okay, I'm seeing hearts coming, flying up, which is great. And stars. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So Yemi, you are going to be speaking at the upcoming Empowered Summit. I'd love to know what has made you, because I've heard you and I told you about it and you were so great. I told you everything and you said, yes, I'm in. What made you say yes to this summit?
To be honest, again, it's the why. So for me, it's the why. You know, I've got a lot going on. I want to contribute. You know, contributing. Denzel Washington says that to give is one of the most selfish things you can ever do, because the feeling of giving is so great. There's nothing better than that. And then to be surrounded by other people, and when you talk about the cause that, you know, yourself and the female founders are working on, you literally, you can't but want to be part of that. You can't but want to be part of history, of changing people's lives. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. And more than ever, I want to share what I've learned, what I've gone through. So for me, it's slightly selfish. I love the idea of giving. I love the idea of contributing, and I'll do that all day, every day.
I love that. I love that so, so much. For those of you who don't know about the Empowered Conference, I've been working with Pakama Community Center in Gugulethu in the townships in Cape Town for almost 10 years now. And we're finally in the position where we're going to be buying the property. And during lockdown, during the pandemic, the gender-based violence that is happening in the communities has escalated in the most atrocious way. And we're getting women literally knocking on our doors nightly saying that they need somewhere safe to go. When I heard that this was happening, I decided to speak to my good friend, Lauren Dallas. She is a co-founder and CEO of Future Females, and she introduced me to Philippa Dodds, who is the director of Future Females Foundation. And we all got together, Serena, the other co-founder of Future Females, Lauren, me, and Phil, and another wonderful woman called Shandy. And we decided, and so we've decided we are building a safe house for these women. And I'm so excited about it because it's going to transform the community. It's literally going to transform these women's lives. It's going to give them a safe space to land. It's going to give them the support and nourishment they need to transform, and the education that they need and support to empower themselves, because they need to take that action and actually create a different future for themselves and their children. And we're rebuilding the community center as well, which does so many other things. We feed over 300 impoverished people a day. We've got a creche, we've got support groups, we've got upliftment programs, upskilling programs. So it really is amazing. And you guys can be a part of making that happen. You can join us on the 6th of August. It is an all-day summit. We've got amazing speakers like the incredible Yemi Penn, who is with us today. She is going to be, if you learned something, guys, give me a thumbs up, a hell yeah, if you learned something from those 3 resilience tips right now. Just give me a hell yeah in the comments. Okay, yay, I can see hearts going up, amazing. That is the kind of thing you are going to be learning, but on a much greater scale at the conference. Yemi will be speaking for 45 minutes. 45 minutes of empowering content. You can join for absolutely free. Registration is absolutely free. But I am going to invite you to come with the intention of investing in yourself, because there are going to be speakers throughout the day that are going to be giving these amazing talks. And you're going to have the opportunity to buy their coaching programs, their courses, their books. And this will lead all of that is gathered, that money, 100%, these amazing speakers are giving 100%, is going to build our safe house and our community center. So you empowering yourself is going to be empowering everybody else. And that is just too close to my heart to mention. So I want to thank you, Yemi, for being a part of this. It means so much to me. I know that you've been on your own journey of healing from abuse, and I'm looking for a good word. Maybe you can help me find it, because I don't like saying a survivor really, or or
victim. I struggle with the word. I don't like victim or survivor. Yeah.
And I'm trying to
I'll have to work on that.
Yeah, because I want to find a word for our women that come through our center, and for every other human, not only woman, but every other human that has gone through any kind of abuse and transformed themselves, because it's so important to find the right words, the right language. And none of those, like, I hate saying I'm a survivor of abuse or rape. I don't, it doesn't sit with me.
Yeah.
I want
warrior comes to mind. However, I'm going to need to work on that, because and that's probably tribal, but I don't want the aggression. I don't want that heavy masculinity attached to it. So I will think of something, but I love that challenge. What else can we call ourselves when we come through and we transform from something so dark? So yeah, I'll take that challenge on.
Wonderful. And anybody who's tuned in, please, I would love your ideas. Want a word or a phrase that we can really give ourselves, because each and every one of us has truly been through something, and each and every one of us is in the process of, or has emerged from, that thing, and we deserve that recognition. Just having that recognition transforms you already. So I want to thank everybody who is tuned in. I just want to see, I think there might be a question here. Okay, so Bron is saying it's hard to find meaning in challenging situations, in trauma and in pain. Imparting what working through these, this has taught you in such an incredible way to be a gift and give. Yes, absolutely. This is part of the amazing gift that comes out. I know that if I hadn't been through everything I've been through, I know with everything in me, I wouldn't have the compassion and perspective that I have to assist other people. So there is always a gift in every situation. I do believe it. As dark as that gift may arrive, it can sometimes come in the most awful wrapping, but I do believe it. And reach out for it, guys, because that is part of your resilience map that Yemi spoke about.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, you're so good, because that's what I'll be talking more about. It's how can you do what I call your pain to power mapping.
Beautiful.
Do not underestimate how that literally defines how you can blossom. So you want to show up. Pain to power mapping.
Pain to power mapping. I love that.
Yeah.
Power. Oh my goodness. I love that. Yemi, thank you so much. I'm sending you so many blessings, so much love and light. Please don't go anywhere. I need to get screen grabs of us to share. Everybody else that is tuned in, thank you. I hope that you will empower yourselves by registering and attending this event. And please do, guys, tag your friends. Please share this post. The algorithms don't allow this to reach like 3% of my audiences unless you guys comment, tag, share. So please